Okay.
What is going on around here? What happened to my bed and to a part of my game collection? What has happened here? Am I going nuts? Am I going crazy? What the heck? It's just... I'm going nuts, am I? Who is doing this to me? Was there a criminal? He wants to steal everything, but then he just decided to not doing it? My English? Perfect. What is going on around here? Am I going crazy? What is going on? Oh, right. Or that. Could be. Yeah, you know, I wasn't going crazy. It's just my game collection that I've collected over the years, and that wasn't part of my official game collection. Yeah, okay. I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't. God blessings everybody, this is the Gaming Christian with yet again another video, and this time we are doing an update of my video game collection, consoles and stuff like that, of 2013, the games and stuff that I have collected for the year 2013 after the collection videos. Earlier this year I already made a whole bunch of collection videos of the games I already have, and this year I went a little bit crazy with collecting. I wanted to do it less, but... sometimes you're in a period where you just go crazy, or you just get a lot of gifts from somebody you know. I really want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, or is it already past? So yeah, basically, and I really want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. So, without further ado, let's get it started. I will try to be as short as possible, but because with the other collection videos I had a lot of stories, well, I wanted to make them as short as possible, and I said already a million times that I wanted to keep it as short as possible. That might not be the deal. So yeah, basically, please enjoy this video! Yes, let's get it started. So I'm just gonna grab a random game from this pile, and we'll see what game there is. So, let's get it started. Yes, okay, I'm just put my eyes closed, and just... the first one is Ring of Reds, a tactical RPG. It's a pretty early PlayStation 2 game, you can see, because it's black. It's a pretty innovative game. I've already played this game for a while, and it's hard for me to get through, but it's pretty interesting. It's supposed to be a very good tactical RPG. Next game. The next game is a PC game I got from a friend. This is Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. People criticize this game for being way too short, and I do disagree. I do agree with them that the game is way too short. Besides that, it's mediocre. It's not a game I'm going to play. I'm going to play again. Let's grab another game from the next game is for the GameCube. We have Super Smash Bros. Melee. It is a classic though, because the Super Smash Bros. Melee is a pretty good series, and this is a pretty good game. It's better than its predecessor for the Nintendo 64. It's not as good as Brawl. Talking about Brawl, we'll get to that. It's not really a game for me personally, but technically speaking, when it comes to quality, it's a very good party fighting game, sort of. I bought a whole bunch of ColecoVision games. Talking about the ColecoVision, I have it right there. It's not on the bed because it's a little bit big, because my whole bed, there's a lot of games on it, so I will get to the ColecoVision later, but here's Frogger for the ColecoVision. It's a pretty good rendition of Frogger, and the box, I really love the box. Just look at this. It's still in pretty good condition. It's not the most expensive ColecoVision game. You know, it's just good to have Frogger as a collector, because Frogger is a arcade classic. Grab another one. Here is Dungeon Keeper 2. It's a pretty good, because the first Dungeon Keeper was a pretty good game, and this is a good sequel to it. Might be questionable for Christians, but as the gameplay goes, it's a pretty good, fun sim. The first one was actually very good, and the sequel was better. You know, it came later, obviously. It's a game I won't be able to play, but, you know, it's not bad. It's actually very good. Next game that I'm going to pick... talking about Super Smash Bros. Here is Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii. Yes, the game didn't cost me as much because I thought, oh, it's a Nintendo game. It's probably going to cost a whole lot of money. A lot of people say that Melee is the best one, but I don't know. I think Brawl's pretty good. I think Melee is fantastic for its time, and I think this is fantastic for this time. So both of them, and it looked great. The graphics are fantastic. Ooh, what's this? Oh, it's a... ooh, what's this? Oh, it's a game I already did a review on. I did not show this game in my collection. This is my first review. I only made 2. But check out the review if you want to know what I think about it. It's not bad. It's a mediocre at best game. But I really like the box. It's not very convenient because the CD... Oh, this is the level select. Because the CD won't stay in too well, and the boxes are kind of, I don't know, how do you say that, flimsy? It gets broken easily, but it really looks great as a collector's item. Alright, next game. It's for the Mega Drive. It's Strider. Yes, this is a pretty good rendition of the arcade classic. But Strider is a game where you can, it's a side-scroller and you have like a sword, and you can climb on walls, and that's really cool. You're like Spider-Man in the sense. The next game, ooh, it's another Saturn game. This is Virtua Fighter 2, and while I'm busy with Virtua Fighter, let's grab Virtua Fighter the first, and let's grab Fighters Mega Mix. This game is not that great. I mean, the real Virtua Fighter is of course Virtua Fighter 2. This game is much better than the first one. And there's Fighters Mega Mix, who is even better. And it's also a fantastic fighting game. I mean, these are, at least Virtua Fighter 2 and Fighters Mega Mix are very good fighting games. I mean, Virtua Fighter is a classic, and at least the arcade one, and Virtua Fighter 2 was the Virtua Fighter we should have had. Okay, let me just see which one am I going to grab this time. Ooh, it's like a game I already had for before I made the other collection videos. It's Championship Manager 2001-2002. This is the only football manager that I still play. Yeah, I know it's season 2001-2002, but I love it. I play it like almost every day. But only just for a few minutes, you know, do a couple of matches. It's a game I play most, and this is one of my all-time favorites. Next is something. It's not really a game. It's more like a master sound, and there's also hardware in it. Let me just show you guys this. This is for the Atari ST, and I also have a Atari ST, and I'm going to show you that as well later. But you get like an SD cartridge for your master sounds. You get like a 3.5 floppy disk. Is that how you say it? 3-inch floppy disk. You have your own software to make sounds, and I haven't tried it yet, but it's a cool package. So as a collector item, it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, okay. Ooh, this is a pretty cool one. I got this from a friend of mine. He gave it to me as a donation or gift, whatever. He always gives me stuff, which is really cool from him. And this is the Japanese version of Seaman in package. And inside of the package, there's of course Japanese booklets. I haven't tried this game yet because it's Japanese and I have like a European Dreamcast. Seaman, don't panic, Seaman. And you will also get a microphone with more microphone stuff. I still haven't tried this out. You can put this in here, and yeah, you can click this in your Dreamcast controller, and then you can talk to the fish. Still haven't tried this game though. It's a very interesting, very ambitious game, and the reviews were pretty positive about the game. But you know, I haven't. I should try this out if I ever get a Japanese Dreamcast. Original box of the Japanese version of Seaman. Oh, this is Blast Corps for the Nintendo 64, a very good Nintendo 64 game. You can destroy things, you have robots, you have all kinds of vehicles to destroy buildings and stuff like that. That's really awesome. Okay, next game. Ooh, what's this? Oh, it's one of the most overrated games. This is probably going to anger a lot of people, so please don't take it personally. Beyond Two Souls. A game you have to understand to like it. Maybe I'm going to do a different video on why I don't think Beyond Good and Evil is technically a good game. Next game on the list is... Okay, a PlayStation 3 RPG. It's Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Well, just like I said, a PlayStation 3 RPG. It looks great, but it sold poorly because the game was way too expensive in the beginning. Alright, next game. The European version of Zelda the Wind Waker. The Legend of Zelda the Wind Waker. Zelda the Wind Waker is, I already have like the American version. But this is, I got this from a friend of mine. And now I have 2 Zelda the Wind Wakers. It's a classic. This is a limited edition because you get, which I already have, Zelda Ocarina of Time for the GameCube, and I've already played Zelda Ocarina of Time for the GameCube. This is a great adventure game. It's one of the... Well, saying this is one of the better Zelda games is, of course, an overstatement, because there are so many great Zelda games out there, and this is one of them that fits with the great ones. So yeah, basically, Zelda the Wind Waker. Next game, Gunstar Heroes for the Mega Drive. Yes, another classic. Gunstar Heroes is fantastic. It's a really great side-scroller action game. Yeah, it's a side-scroller action game, sort of. Next game, I can't wait. Okay, this is Atari 80 classic games in one. You can play like the old Atari games on one disc, which is really awesome. I already have a few original Atari 2600 games, but this is the same kind of quality, and I'm not so sure how it plays. I haven't checked this out too much. It does work though, so that's really important that the game does work. You know, just the authentic Atari 2600 classic games. Next, it's another Sega Saturn game. This is Sega Rally. This is maybe one of the better versions of Sega Rally. Maybe Part 2 is better, but the arcade version of Sega Rally is one of the best games ever created. This game is so good, and I personally think that this version is one of the best renditions of that version. So basically, I'm holding a true classic in my hand. I'm not really a racing fan, but I really want to understand quality. And the next game is Amped for the Xbox. This is one of the better snowboard games on the Xbox. I'm not very good at it. I don't consider this game too much as fun, but technically speaking, when it comes to quality, this is a pure quality game. Fantastic. Quality doesn't always have to be fun. So yeah, basically, that's how I look at it. Next game is Spy Hunter. Now I can't really remember, maybe I should have checked my older videos, but so I showed you guys a couple of games that didn't work. I fixed both of my NESs, and now games do work. I haven't touched it ever since, but I did check out some couple of games, and now they do work. This is Spy Hunter for the Nintendo. A very easy to get game, but a classic nonetheless. A hard game, but a fun game. This game has a lot of quality for its time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me just grab a game real quick. A Super Nintendo game. This is The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, another Super Nintendo classic. It's a fun side-scroller with a city, and I really love the cover. Just look at this. This is an awesome cover. It's an awesome, it's an awesome game. Let me just, there's a big box. This is Command and Conquer in original box. I got this also from a friend of mine. I didn't bother myself. I got this for free, and the only thing that's in the box is the case with the CDs in it. There are 2 discs. So yeah, of course there's some FMV in these games, which is I really like FMV. And it's one of the, I won't say the granddaddy of RTSs, because that honor goes to June 2, and maybe there are other few games that I'm forgetting. But Command and Conquer is one of the oldest. Let me just grab a game real quick. A game that I just recently bought before this video is Sleeping Dogs for the PlayStation 3, obviously. It's an action-adventure, you know, like GTA and GTA San Andreas, and Saints Row. I had my doubts if I wanted to buy this game, and when I saw it for really cheap, I was thinking, you know, a game I have downloaded on my PlayStation 3, but I wanted to have a physical copy, is The Walking Dead. This game was pretty cheap, and not really because of the zombies, but because of the personal choices you can make. I love the choices that this game offers. That's one of the few things I absolutely love in video games. Just like that's the same reason why I like Mass Effect. You sometimes need to make your own choice in conversation, but also in doing stuff. And The Walking Dead gives that. If you want to compare this to Beyond Two Souls, this game is much better when it comes to the emotion, because these emotions are true and righteous and well done, and Beyond Two Souls not so much. I will stop pandering Beyond Two Souls before people are gonna get angry, but The Walking Dead, fantastic game. Next game. Another PlayStation 3 game I got for my birthday in March is the Sly Trilogy for the PlayStation 3. This is well worth your money. You get like 3 games in one, plus a whole bunch of mini games. I finished all 3 of them. I really enjoyed these 3 games. I was quite interested in all of the games, but never got around to buy it. Now, my friend gave this to me on my birthday, and I was really happy with it. So, next, it's a plug and play machine. There are a whole bunch of games on it. This is your typical, this uses batteries, obviously, and you can play it on your television. I don't really like the, it has like a Xbox, how do you call these? I sometimes forget the name, I'm sorry. The games on this aren't all that bad. Most of the time they are pretty bad, and some of my plug and play machines has bad games, but it's okay. You know, it was pretty cheap as usual, so. Next game! Oh, it's another Sega Saturn game. This is another racing classic. It's Daytona USA. I think this was another arcade classic. The Sega Saturn version is another fantastic rendition of this game. Like I already said, I'm not a huge racing fan. It's pure quality, the game is. So yeah. Next game, and this time we go to a handheld game. This is for the Game Boy Advance. It's Super Monkey Ball Jr., a very good rendition of the Super Monkey Ball series on handheld. I personally think that this works pretty well, and it's a pretty good handheld game. I have the original box. Next video. Next game you mean? Yes, I know it. Also for the PlayStation 3, it's one of the best games of 2012. This is Far Cry 3. A good PlayStation 3 game with a big island to explore. This is not as long as Skyrim and Oblivion. It's not like a RPG. This is a shooter, but there's a lot of RPG elements and so much exploring. I enjoyed myself with this game, and I even finished it. I almost found all of the statues. It's a fantastic video game. There are interesting characters to be found, and it's just amazing to explore the whole island. Love it. Next game is Streets of Rage 2. Part 1 was good, Part 2 was better. That's right, this is Streets of Rage 2. I have both of them now. Next game that I'm going to show you guys is a game that I bought for extremely dirt cheap. Prototype for the Xbox 360, a game I haven't played yet. I bought this game like months ago when I fixed my Nintendo. And Prototype is a action-adventure, is a free-roaming action-adventure. It came out together with Infamous. Even though Infamous had better quality, this game wasn't bad, you know, this game was a bit more fun for people. This game seems highly interested, and I still have to play it though. Let me just pick up the next game. It's a game, and let me just grab a game before that. These are two games that might be questionable for Christians, because these games have made it negatively to the news. I played both of them. I enjoyed myself very much. I'm going to show you real quick GTA 4 and GTA 5. That's right, those are the two games I'm talking about. These games has been negatively used, that it makes people aggressive and stuff like that. You know, if it is so, then these people shouldn't play these games. I can talk about it, I have easy saying, because I play these violent video games too, and it doesn't happen to me, so I can enjoy myself with these games. But besides the violence, there's a whole world to explore, an interesting story and wonderful written characters, great gameplay. It's not just a violence, you know, it's also, there's so much more to GTA. Next game that I'm going to show you guys is a game I will never play. I've tried it out, after 5 minutes I was like, man, I'm never going to play this again. This is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. The Rainbow Six. It's way too tactic for me because one shot and you're dead. I'm used to these, you know, less bigger shooters, you know, where you just, you know, walk and you just shoot your way and stuff like that. But in this you need to be tactic. So what you do, I walked in the courtyard, blam, one shot and I was dead. And I was like, man, this is way too tactic for me. I'm not as smart as because I can't handle the game. It's a great quality game, and if you like this kind of game, I totally understand, but no. Let me see, I also have the 3 games that were like a part of, you could add them to your official game, but I haven't tried these games out. Next game, we're not done yet, we're not done. A game I recently played, this is Alpha Protocol for the Xbox 360, a mediocre at best game. I enjoyed myself with the game, and it had some Mass Effect influences in it. I liked it, I enjoyed myself, but I totally understand the criticism that people gave to this game. Let me just pick out another game. Another PlayStation 3 game. This is a game I already had for the Xbox 360. This is Mass Effect 2 for the PlayStation 3. What can I say? I still have to play this game though. It does work. But since I've already played part 2 so many times, I don't feel like playing this right now. Maybe in a few months I'm going to play it. Let me see. Oh, it's a cartridge. It's Boxing for the Atari 2600. It's boxing. It's a very good sports game, but it also feels like because with every hit you get like a point, and there's some tactic involved. And this is a very evolved Atari game. Maybe you guys know it. It was dirt cheap. It only cost me like €1. Next game I'm going to show you guys. It's another cartridge. It's also for the Atari 2600. It's Dodgem, and you drive in a circle and you can change lanes, but you should make sure that you're not driving in the same lane as your enemy AI, because you will crash, and you need to collect points. It feels more like Pac-Man, I think. Yeah, another Atari 2600 game. Vanguard. It's a pretty early console shmup. It's really good. This is pretty impressive for its time. Next is a PlayStation 2 game. This is Amplitude. Maybe one of the better rhythm action video games, because there are some rhythm action video games that people know, like Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution and Guitar Man, Parappa the Rapper. But Amplitude is a fantastic game that is with the game. And there's also another game. Oh, it's Frequency. Yes, I've already showed you guys that game. I kind of enjoy myself with Amplitude and Frequency, both of them, because rhythm action games is one of those genres like shmups and fighting games that I sometimes love to play. And Amplitude feels like a very solid, fantastic rhythm action game. Next game is Enemy Territory Quake Wars. I have to be honest here, I know this is an online game. I have it. It's a gift from a friend of mine. And yeah. Next game. Oh, I already have it in my hands. It's another ColecoVision game. This is Zaxxon, and Zaxxon is one of the big arcade classics. It has a different kind of perspective, and it plays pretty good. It's actually a pretty good version of Zaxxon, because not every version of Zaxxon is all that great, and this is one of the better ones. I mean, ColecoVision, even though not as known as Nintendo and Atari and stuff like that, had a lot of great games on it. I'm going to show you guys more ColecoVision games. Like right now, I see it because I really want to show you guys this. This is my most expensive ColecoVision game. That's why I put the seal on it. It is Burger Time, another arcade classic. And the ColecoVision version is a great rendition. Too bad the control of the ColecoVision isn't all that great. It's not even has to do with taste. It's just a quality good arcade game. And the ColecoVision version is fantastic. And this was pretty expensive, but there are some fans out there that loves this game, and the ColecoVision version is the better one. Let's pick another game. This is for the Master System. This is Hang On. Yeah, who doesn't know Hang On? I mean, if you know the history of video games, you know Hang On. It's a motor racing game, and it's a great rendition of the arcade one, and it plays pretty good. Next game is a game I already had, but the game just didn't work anymore. This is Crystalis. That's right, for the Nintendo. Another underrated RPG type of game. It's a game that's not easy. But I love challenging RPGs where you need to train a lot and where you need to, you know, search in every corner, which is really awesome. I guess Crystalis is a good NES game. You would, if you would make a top 100 best NES games, Crystalis would be a contender for it. It won't make the top 10, but Crystalis is actually very good. Next game is a PC game, a game I've played for 3 weeks straight. Of course, I had to go to work and other stuff, but it's Star Wars The Old Republic, a online game. You don't need the CDs to play this game, but I wanted to have a physical copy of it. You could also download it. I enjoyed myself. I really wanted to play this game again. I got so many other games I still need to play, and I love this game. This is going to be a contender for my personal top 100. I really love this game, and I wanted to give it another shot in the future. But yeah, I have a physical copy now. Look, it's thicker than a normal PC box, which I really like. Next game, now I'm not going to look again. Sin Episodes, Emergency Episode 1. I remember the first Sin coming out more than 10 years ago. I think 15 years ago. Yeah, it's that long already, jeez. Sin Episodes, I haven't really played this game for too long, and I think a lot of people that, just like me, grew up in the 90s, the ending of the 90s, knows this game. So, because I had gaming magazines and I saw the first Sin, and it scored pretty high. So, another ColecoVision game is Space Panic. To my opinion, it's a pretty good ColecoVision game. I have the original box, which is really awesome. And it's kind of like Lode Runner, and it's just like this. You need to make holes for your enemy to fall in, and you need to collect treasures. Next game, let me just see, is for the PlayStation 3, it's Max Payne. A game I personally believe that it's a little bit overrated. It's not a bad game, don't be angry, and I kind of enjoyed myself. It's a quality, fantastic game, the presentation is great. Like, it has a pretty evolving story, I guess. But the gameplay, all you do is just walk from point A to point B. And I guess that's like the first Max Payne. I'm still looking for the first Max Payne. It's one of my all-time favorite games. But Max Payne 3 is kind of like that. And 10 years ago, when the game came out, more than 10 years ago, it was so new and refreshing. This game is kind of like that. If you guys disagree with me, put it in the comments why you would disagree with me. Because Max Payne 3 is a great video game, but I don't know. It's not like the best video game ever. Let me just grab another game here. Let's continue. This is Battlefield Vietnam. Another great online first-person shooter. It works online. I've played this game for a little bit online, and I enjoyed myself. Now I have a game here that's pretty recent, and with pretty recent I mean like a few months ago. Let me just grab the whole thing here. This is Paper Mario Sticker Stars, my only 3DS game. 3DS! Yes, 3DS is now part of the family. What can I say? I'm not really a handheld gamer, so I barely play on it. It's a 3DS, what can I say? I still have the original box. I bought this from a friend of mine for pretty cheap. I got the game with it. And the game, I'm not so sure if this will stay expensive for a long time, but I have it. It's my only 3DS game, and I can play DS games on this. So that's always a plus. So yeah. 3DS. Yes, I have the 3DS in my collection, which is really awesome. Next. A Mega Drive game. This is Sonic 3. It's a very good Sonic. A lot of people call Sonic 2 the best. It's a very good Sonic game, and I personally think that Sonic 3 isn't worse or better. It's just, I think they're both fantastic. Yeah, what else can I say? I try to make this as short as possible. I don't have written reviews, so... What's this? This is Alien vs. Predator Gold Edition. It's a very pretty good first-person shooter, but it's in a platinum sort of box, bestseller series kind of box. Alright, the next game I have in my collection is Kaboom for the Atari 2600, and Kaboom is an Atari classic. A lot of people know this game. I mean, come on, Kaboom is great. It's one of the better Atari games ever. It's maybe the perfect game that you can do with the pedal controller. So, next game is the best game, one of the best games of 2013, is The Last of Us. I didn't like the characters so much. It's more like a taste thing, but they are well written. They are, technically speaking, when it comes to quality, they are pretty good. The game itself is fantastic. I enjoyed myself, but the game is well made. If you want to talk about quality, The Last of Us. Next game. Oh, I can't wait for the next game. It's a PlayStation 1 game. This is Tekken 2. If you want to talk about quality good fighting games, Tekken is one of the better series. People that say that these are bad games should understand what a good quality video game is. You don't have to enjoy it. I mean, I don't enjoy Part 2. Part 2 isn't enjoyable to me either, but it is quality. And I want to make a discussion. I don't want to make this video too long. Next game. Let me just see what's here. This is a game I already had, but I forgot to show you guys in my last Xbox 360 collection video. This is Pro Evolution Soccer 2008. I should play this game again in the future, maybe, because I kind of enjoyed myself with this game. Not everybody liked this Pro Evolution Soccer. They said that this was the first game when Pro Evolution Soccer went downhill. I don't know, I personally think that it all started in 2009, but it's not the best Pro Evolution Soccer, I totally agree with that. Final Fantasy 13, yes, for the Xbox 360. I already have the PlayStation 3 version, but now I also have the Xbox 360 version. It's a highly underrated game, Final Fantasy 13. And I should make a different kind of video on that. Let's just continue. Next game is for the PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 2 classic. This is Brothers in Arms Road to Hill 30. A game that was pretty new for its time. This is different than Call of Duty, because back in the day you had Call of Duty, Medal of Honor. This was completely different, and the whole system worked fantastically. I was afraid that this game would have been way too tactic for me. No, it worked, but it was pretty well done. The whole system was simple. Loved it. Next game is another Mega Drive game. This is Herzog Zwei. Talk about your tactic games. I don't really like this game all that much, but if you want to talk about quality, there is quality in this game. This is, a Mega Drive classic. It's very... If you like this kind of game, these tactic Mega Drive games, this is fantastic. And there's also a lot of action in it for a tactical game, so the whole system just worked fine. Next game. This is BioShock Infinite. Now, if you want to talk about overrated games, maybe it's... I played the first BioShocks, and BioShock 2 was too much like Part 1. Part 1 was fantastic, just amazing. Maybe I should make a different kind of video where I spoil more what I think about BioShock Infinite. Because the game is fantastic, of course. It's a very good game, but I don't know, the gameplay feels standard. It's just like Part 1 and Part 2. Nothing's really changed when it came to the gameplay. It's a standard shooter with some exploration here and there a little bit, and you have these powers which you already had in Part 1, but that's for a different kind of video. Next game I'm going to show you guys is... Okay, let me just grab the other one as well. This is one of my favorite games, one of my favorite RTSs of nostalgia. Maybe one of my favorite games ever. This is Red Alert 2 and Yuri's Revenge. This is one of my all-time favorite RTSs ever created. And I'm not a huge fan of RTSs, but these were actually kind of fun. And of course there's your FMV, so that's always a plus for me. Alright, next game I can do here is nothing other than Fantavision. Fantavision is a rhythm action kind of video game. It's a very good video game as a rhythm action, because as a rhythm action game, Fantavision really works. It's one of the first, look, it's a grey box, I'm not so sure if that's supposed to be, but it's one of the first PlayStation 2 games. As an original rhythm action game, it's fantastic. It has great music, it just looks amazing. Next, what's this? What's next on the list? It's a game I haven't played yet. I'm planning to, maybe one day. Deadly Premonition. Yes, it's a game that's highly ambitious, that didn't work. This is for the Xbox 360. This game is kind of for me, because this game has a free roaming element to it. Roaming the town, doing side quests for people, talking to people, getting points for that, for the investigation. I kind of like it. And I saw a full playthrough on YouTube about this game, and this game seems like, this seems like a very interesting game. So I bought it for cheap. Next game. For the Wii, WarioWare Smooth Moves. WarioWare is also one of the best, better puzzle series. And, talking about, I also have WarioWare Inc. for the Xbox, listen to me, for the Game Boy Advance. And I kind of enjoyed myself. The presentation looked great, it looked very cartoony, and I would say that this version is fantastic. What they have done with this system, because the whole idea of WarioWare is genius, pure genius. Now, it's never going to be favorite games of mine, but when it comes to quality, as puzzle games, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely, the whole system works so well. Now, they have done this on a handheld game, and it works. I've played a little bit just to see if it actually worked, and it did work. This is a pure genius. It's so good. Next game is Golden Axe 2. Of course, the sequel to Golden Axe 1, which I've already showed in my Mega Drive collection. It's just a great sequel to already a great game. It's a hack and slash beat 'em up kind of game. It's a PlayStation 1 game. This is Bloody Roar, a fighting game, obviously. Maybe you guys already know this game. It's a game where you can turn into animals, and it's a very interesting fighting game. And Bloody Roar is maybe one of the better fighting games on the PlayStation 1. It had a lot of good, but also a lot of bad fighting games. And Bloody Roar is one of the better ones. So yeah. Let me just see, what do I have here? Ooh, it's Halo 2, and you would think like, well, this is a special edition. Well, I bought this like this. It cost €10. The CD didn't work. I had to clean it, and I did. And you get like a limited collector's edition disc. So there's probably a lot of fun stuff in there. I haven't checked it out yet. And there's a booklet in there, and there's nothing more. It cost me like €10. So Halo 2 is an absolute classic. It's a great sequel to a great game, and I personally think that the sequel was already fantastic. Next game is a sequel to a very disappointing game, Mortar 2. Now, I'm not so sure how good this game is. I knew that the part 1 scored pretty low with reviews. It's mediocre to say the least. Mortar 2 should be better, I think. I don't know too much about Mortar 2. I haven't checked it out all that much, but maybe I should do it. I don't know, maybe I should check it out a little bit more. Maybe you guys know more about Mortar 2 than I do. Next game is another PlayStation 3 games. Games that might be questionable for Christians. Yeah, it's Yakuza Dead Souls. Yes, well, it's a zombie game. You know, the same can be said about The Walking Dead, so okay. But Yakuza Dead Souls, it's the worst Yakuza. I'm a huge Yakuza fan, if you guys know me a little bit with my videos. And Yakuza Dead Souls was the last game of the Yakuza series that came out in Europe. They do not want to release part 5 here in Europe. And I kind of liked it. I kind of enjoy myself, but I totally understand that this is technically not the best Yakuza game out there. No. Next up is Star Wars Battlefront, a online Star Wars shooter. It's a game it's a solid online shooter. Even if it wasn't Star Wars, it's an online shooter. It's a solid online shooter. But Battlefront is one of the better Star Wars games ever created. There are a couple of them good Star Wars games, but this was one of them, Battlefront. So I have it proudly in my collection. Alright, next game. Let's see what we have here. This is the Daedalus encounter for the FMV, and it kind of worked on my Windows 98 laptop, but this is German, and I can't speak German at all, so I have the German version of the Daedalus encounter, which is really interesting, I guess. What can I say? It's an FMV game. It's I won't say it's not the worst FMV game, but it's not great either. Right, next game is a classic for me. This is a childhood game of mine. This is Klonoa for the PlayStation 1. I've been looking for this game for a long time. I went to the convention and I didn't stumble across this game for years, and I found it, and it costed me some money, but it's a great game nonetheless. It's a great 2.5 side-scroller, and it's a game I played when I was younger, and if you play this game in one day, non-stop, you can finish this game. Because I almost did, by the way. Not because I'm good, but because the game is not that long, so yeah. Klonoa, one of my all-time favorite games ever for the PlayStation 1. Next up is Street Fighter 4 for the Xbox 360. It's a fighting game. It's a very good fighting game. It's one of the better Street Fighter games in years. A lot of people know this game to be very good. Next up is a cartridge. This is Faceball 2000, a first-person Game Boy game. I would say it's pretty impressive, especially for Game Boy. Yeah, well, it's maybe not so fun to play. Next up, ooh, what's this? This is Codename Panzer's Phase 1. I haven't heard so much about it. I got this from a friend of mine, and I kind of like the box, so that's pretty cool. And it's in one of those thick boxes. Don't know too much about it. It's a, what is it exactly? It's a RTS or something. Yeah, this is an RTS. This is kind of look like Commandos. It's I don't know. I can't say too much about it. See, another cartridge. This is for the Game Boy Color. This is Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. A game that's not that hard to get, and a game that's not so expensive. I didn't buy it for much. I mean, from what I understand, that in America this is a lot more expensive, but it's a pretty good. Mario game. Let me just see. Ooh, a Nintendo game. This is 1942 with booklets. 1942, a game I think I've already showed in one of my other collection videos, but then it didn't work because of the NES. Now the NES works, and this game works as well. And it's a game with a lot of glitches, but a classic nonetheless. This is one of the better shmups. Alright, for the next game is Jak and Daxter for the PlayStation 2. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game. This is absolutely a classic. I mean, you have part 2, you have part 3, you have other Jak and Daxter games. You have like a racing game and one for the PSP, and I think later there was also one for the PlayStation 2, The Last Frontier. This one is immensely fantastic. Sure, it's not really like a standard platform. It's different somehow. Can't really explain why. Because it is different than Super Mario 64. It's a good game. That's all you need to know. It's a game. It's a video game. Wow. Whoa. Wow. This, my friends, is another boxed PC game. I only showed you guys like one Command and Conquer. This is StarCraft. You would say like, well, that's really good. It's the German version. Before you make a purchase at a convention store, and always check what kind of language this is, and always ask. If it's just like the normal English language, is okay. But this is completely German, and I should have known. I've made that mistake like twice already. I'm gonna keep it, you know, for collecting's sake, but I will try to find the original StarCraft. So let me just continue. This is Metal Slug 3 for the PlayStation 2, a great Metal Slug game. I mean, the other Metal Slug I have for the Neo Geo MVS. I don't have an MVS myself, so I guess I can resort to this. This is also a very good Metal Slug game. I mean, are there bad Metal Slug games? I don't know, maybe you guys know it better than me, but what I do know is that this is a fantastic Metal Slug game. And Metal Slug is just a great, solid gameplay type of game. It has solid, it's super difficult, but it's challenging difficult, not the kind of unfair difficult. Sometimes it maybe feels a bit unfair, but its presentation, it's everything. It's just amazing. Next up is another NES game, and I've already showed you guys this in my NES collection or other collection. This is Kung Fu, a side-scroller beat 'em up. It's solid, it's hard, maybe the controls aren't perfect, but it's solid. That's the best. It's not really the best, but it's a pretty good start of a NES game, because it's one of the first NES games, so that's pretty cool. Super Swift for the Super Nintendo, a solid shooter type shmup, but it's not really a shmup. Yeah, it is actually a shoot 'em up, but you're a vehicle and you stay on the ground and you just shoot things like in a shmup fashion, and it's really a solid game. The next game I have in my collection is Mortal Kombat 2. Another game that's questionable for Christians. Mortal Kombat 2 is made by Midway and released by Acclaim, you know, published. No, yes, published by Acclaim. And this is the better, because the first Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo wasn't all that great. The Mega Drive version was better. Mortal Kombat 2 for the Super Nintendo is a lot better than the first one on Super Nintendo. So you could say that this is the better version of Mortal Kombat 2. But there's a lot of great versions out there. Next game is another NES game, another NES classic. This is Bubble Bobble. It's a puzzle platformer. It's a fun, happy game with lots of candy, lots of cute little monsters, 2 cute little lizardy-like creatures. A lot of guys know this game. I know a lot of true gamers that knows about the history of video games knows this game. I happen to know it too, and it's a great game. It's a simple yet fun game. You know, it's like Kirby. You know, sometimes quality comes in having fun. Alright. Next up is a game I'm glad that I'm having it. It's the Call of Duty Deluxe Edition. I already have the original Call of Duty, but this one has the add-on, United Offensive, and I played both of them when I was a kid. I was blown away by how cool the game was and how cool the add-on was. But I played both of them. It's one of my all-time favorite war shooters. It's amazing. Next up is also a game I really enjoyed. This is Onimusha 2, a game that sold poorly in Europe. I'm not so sure how poor the first one sold, or how well the first one sold, but still, nonetheless, this is a fantastic video game, people. Seriously, this is a great video game, but when it comes to quality, this game does it. It looks great, it just plays great. There's things to collect. You can collect items, you can, you know, get moves, you have like a friend system, places to explore. I like it. I really do like Onimusha 2. Next up is a Dreamcast game. The only Dreamcast game I bought this year. I haven't bought so many Dreamcast games this year. Yeah, Dreamcast has made a lot of great games, and one of them is NBA 2K. Now, there is a lot of great NBA 2K versions, and I personally believe that the Xbox version is also good. I'm not 100% sure about that, but this version is also fantastic. It was about time that I bought another Dreamcast games, and this was one of them. And it's a good-looking game. It's a good, just a good basketball game overall. Let me just see. Next up is Super Monaco GP. Forgive me if I'm being wrong here. I don't want to give false information. This might be one of the best racing games on your Mega Drive. Now, if you are a huge fan of racing games on the Mega Drive, is this really one of the better racing games? Qualitatively speaking. I'm not talking about having fun, I'm talking about the quality. Because I might never play this game, but it's just a great collector's item to have, and it's a pretty cheap. Next up is a PC game. This is Sam and Max Hit the Road. It's not in the original box. I asked that, no, this is all there is, and it was dirt cheap, and it's a classic beyond classics. 4 point-and-click adventures, of course. And not only does it look great, it's funny, it's clever, it's one of the better point-and-click adventures ever. It's this. Another PlayStation 1 game, another game that might be questionable for Christians, but nonetheless, it's a great game. This is the first Resident Evil. Yes, Resident Evil was a landmark in video gaming. It wasn't the first survival horror game, but what I do remember that this is the first truly popular survival horror games in history. And it's really the reason the story is being told through files, which is really awesome. The system was just great. There's tank controls. But it worked in Resident Evil. When I talk about quality, I also talk about Resident Evil. Of course, the voice acting is... next up is, well, the special edition of Deus Ex Invisible War. I have a normal version. This is more like a thicker version with, of course, a thicker box. I got this from a friend of mine. There's a couple of CDs in them. There's like the game disc. There's like the installation disc. Well, that's very important to have. But there's also nothing in it. Well, there's supposed to be another disc in it, which is part of the special edition type disc. But this is a more cooler box, so I'm more happier with this version. I still have to play it though. I barely get around all my games. So next up is a Game Boy Advance game. This is Advance Wars 2. And it's just a good sequel to already fantastic RTS for the Game Boy Advance. That's all I really need to say, because it really looked like the first one. Next up is another small game. This is Nintendogs, a game I've already made a video about. Let's check video. This is of course a puppy caretaker simulator. And it really was a good game. It had great puppy physics, if that would make any sense. Next up is another Nintendo game. This is Shadow Warriors, aka Ninja Gaiden or whatever. It's a I don't know why it's called Shadow Warriors here in Europe, because I wanted to buy Ninja Gaiden for the NES, but I stumbled across this game and I didn't know it was the same game. Yeah, I should do my research a little bit better. This is Elevator Action. I wanted to buy the NES version, but since this version, the Game Boy Color version, is just as good, I was thinking let's buy the handheld version, because Elevator Action is a great game, but I personally think putting it on the handheld works a lot better. So that's why I chose the handheld version. Alright, let me just grab another SNES game, a cartridge. This is Mario Paint, a great painting simulator type game. I had a mouse, but the mouse didn't work anymore. Mario Paint, everybody knows Mario Paint. It's very fun with mini games. You can make your own cartoon. You can make, of course, drawings. It's a really well done system. It has aged pretty well. I mean, sure, back in the day it was a lot more amazing, but you know. Next up is Phantasy Star 3 Generations of Doom, a very generic name. Not everybody is very fond of this game. I'm not very fond of this game, but I heard it somewhere that this is one of the better Phantasy Star games. Please put in the comments if you think a different kind of Phantasy Star game is better. Put that in the comments and tell me. But it's a pretty solid RPG. Talk about more rhythm action games. This time I have Beatmania. A game that only works with a certain controller. I don't know what kind of a controller that is. You can also play it with the controller that does not work all that well, but there's a controller specially made for this game. This game was pretty expensive, so it's pretty rare. I barely see it anywhere. But it's, as a rhythm action game, it's a classic. I've already said that, like with amplitude and with frequency, but this is also one of the better ones. I grabbed a game, Geist. This is my least, when it comes to quality, this is my least good GameCube game. It's a short one. I finished this game in a couple of days, and it's really great. It's really not a bad game, but it's more like, shall I keep this? I kind of enjoy myself. You know, there were some fun things in it. You can take over people, but the game was, before you know it, it was over. Alright, we're almost through. This time I'm just going to grab a game. This is, for the ColecoVision, a loose cartridge, this is Donkey Kong. Another fantastic version. I'm already looking for the NES version of Donkey Kong. Do I have the NES version of Donkey Kong? I don't even know. But I also have the ColecoVision version, and it's another great rendition. Too bad about the controller, but this version of Donkey Kong is also very good. It's almost like the original, almost like the original Donkey Kong. My last Atari, is this my last Atari? Yes, this is my last Atari 2600 game. This is Ice Hockey. And this is a pretty good ice hockey game for its time. I mean, they had limitations. You only had like one button and stuff like that. But as an ice hockey game, I don't think there is a better one. I might be wrong. I don't know every Atari 2600 game out there. But what I do know is that this is one of the better ones. Ice hockey games, that is. For the Atari 2600. The last PlayStation 3 games of my new collection is Test Driver Unlimited 2. That's right. It's a online MMO driving game, and it really worked. It had a lot of bugs and glitches and whatever, but it had a big island to explore. It really was a lot of fun for people, and it was pretty popular. This is Super Metroid! Yes, for the Super Nintendo. This is maybe one of the best games ever, and I know I said it a lot of times with my collection. It's not to tell you guys how good I am. No, my people, this is Super Metroid. Super Metroid is one of the better Metroid games, maybe one of the better games ever. I might as well even give this game a try, you could say. Last ColecoVision game is also a loose cartridge. This is Mousetrap. I kind of forgot why I had this, but it's like a Tetris clone. Nothing too special. We're almost getting through it. Yes, I only see 2 more games, and then we're done with the games, and I'm going to show you my new consoles. 2 box PC games. This is Quake 2. Another game that's questionable for Christians because it's done in hell or something. Because I don't even know 100% for sure. I really want to know for sure if I'm going to put this game away. But I love these boxed PC games. Yes, I didn't bought so many boxed PC games, but it's just cool to have. And when I find one, and this is Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. Yeah, it's Command & Conquer. And Tiberian Sun is a well done game. Alright, let's go to my new consoles. I had a couple of consoles this year. First is the PlayStation 2 I play on the most now. Is a slim version. I have my old PlayStation 2 on the shelf because that doesn't work so well. This is a new one. I got this from a friend of mine, and this one worked perfectly. It almost feels like new, and it looks pretty good. I see some spots here that I won't get off, but it doesn't matter. It works, and it works perfectly. It can read all my games. So even the PlayStation 1 games, he has no trouble with. That's pretty cool. Another accessory that I have, it's not really a console nor a game. This is a book. A Final Fantasy XIII Official Strategy Guide hardcover. I bought this from a friend of mine, and I'm just super happy that I have one. Now, it's just a cool collector's item. Let me just keep on continuing, and I really don't feel like taking this out of the box. It's a Commodore 64. The gaming console is in this, but since it is broken here, it's really making a lot of mess, and I'm just glad it's in the box, because getting it out is an issue because it's getting messy, but getting it in, I don't even have the adapter for this thing in this because the cord is very stiff. So much work to get it in, and I'm just glad it's in the box. I still haven't tried it out with the games. It does work, but I still haven't tried out any games yet because the 2 machines where you're supposed to put cartridges in, like cassette tapes and floppy disks, those 2 machines doesn't work. yeah, I have like 2 machines for it, and both of them do not work. But I do have a Commodore 64, and it does work. And in the future, I'm gonna try out games for it. All right, next up is this is. Oh darn it! It has a seal on it. This is a Atari ST. Yes. I'm not sure if I already showed you guys this, doesn't matter, let's just show it anyway. It has even a seal on it, which is really cool. I bought it for pretty cheap together with the Commodore 64. Let's go grab the last item of my collection that I got this year. I have a working ColecoVision. Yes, that's right, here's where you put the cartridge in. Here are the controllers. This is the controller, it's already stuck in the console and it's like a telephone. Look at the unnecessary wires. This is the controller. This is the stick. Let me just put the camera a little bit closer here. This is the stick. These are the numbers and these are the buttons on the side you mostly use. And wow, I cannot believe I have a ColecoVision. I'm pretty happy with it. There's a lot of great games for it, and it's just a great system to have if you are collecting for retro. Because there are a lot of consoles to collect. Oh my goodness gracious! I really want to thank you guys for watching. This was the Gaming Christian with yet again another video. This was my collection video. This was another long video. I will try to make it as short as possible. I really want to thank you guys for watching. But have a great year. Have a great one. God bless you. And see you guys next time with some more gaming videos. I will try to make gaming videos. I will try to make more reviews this year. I'm already busy with another one. I really wanted to make this one first before I could do, because I'm busy with a 3rd review. That's right. I hope you guys will enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. Please enjoy yourself. See you guys the next time with some more Gaming Christian, and thanks for watching.